So, I know I'm probably a little bit late to the party concerning Titanfall 2 and the tech test that's been out. I know it was out last weekend and it's been out this weekend as well, but I only managed to get a bit of time to pick it up, download it and play it this weekend. So I said I'd play a bit, see how I got on, see what my initial thoughts were. The gameplay you're seeing at the moment is my very first time playing the game. I'm playing the Bounty Hunter mode and I'm literally fresh into the game, haven't played it before, so if it is a bit bad, do excuse me please, because it is my first time playing Titanfall 2. Anyway, onwards and upwards, first impressions. I've put a bit of time into the game now, probably maybe about 3 hours or so, which is, I think it's enough time to form some very basic first impressions, nothing in depth or anything, but 3 hours is plenty of time to form a good first impressions look at how I think the game is. And I have to say, surprisingly, I'm enjoying it, which is, I didn't expect to enjoy it at all. I was kind of begrudgingly downloading it just to check it out and see what it was like, but I didn't really think I was going to enjoy it. Expectations were quite low. I did have Titanfall, the original, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. Never really played it. I played a little bit of it, but not that much, so that's why my expectations were probably a little bit lower than what they should have been. In general though, and especially for a pre-alpha, it seems to be quite a good game. I mean, the first thing I noticed is the connection is quite stable so far. There's no major issues. The gameplay feels very fluid. I haven't had much problems with lag or anything like that, which is great. Always great for a pre-alpha. I really like the visuals as well for a pre-alpha. The colour scheme is quite nice. The graphics as well, surprisingly, are pretty good. And I do believe that they will be improved on as well, but there's not much improvement needed to be made. Everything is quite clear. The colour scheme is nice. The HUD setup is nice as well. I know that's all liable to change, but for me, it's pretty good so far. There are times when the frame rate does drop slightly from 60 FPS, but it's nothing too major. It has been noticeable sometimes, but again, they do have a lot of time to, fix the issues and make sure that everything is tip-top for when the game does launch in a few months' time. And again, you have to remember, this is the whole point of these tech tests, so that they can analyze all the data from the players playing the game and implement any changes that need to be made. So it is great that we have this opportunity to do this. I did find that the controls are very snappy and tight as well, which is great. It feels good. It feels like a good shooter, not your average run-of-the-mill shooter. It does feel like a good, well-balanced, tight controlled shooter, which is surprising as well. I didn't think that Titanfall, the original Titanfall, was as tight as it should have been. Nothing was snappy, everything felt kind of loose. This one's a lot more snappier and more akin to the likes of your Call of Duty and Battlefield, etc. So it might have a chance to actually compete with regards to controls. With regards to control schemes as well, I do like the option that they have multiple different control schemes in the game, and these will suit pretty much every player. Me personally, I have mine on the one which is called button kicker, which basically swaps melee with crouch. So your right thumbstick is crouch, melee is B or circle, or whichever way you have it set up yourself. But they do also have other ones like bumper jumper, things like that. So every play style will be accounted for, which is a good thing to see. You don't really see that too often, where they have loads of different control configurations or control schemes, so it is a good thing to see. With regards to the gameplay, the first thing that I noticed is the wall running. It's not very fluid, for me at least. Maybe that's because I'm used to the wall running in Black Ops 3 and the boost jumping and things like that. But to me, the wall running in Black Ops 3 seems to be a lot more fluid than it is in Titanfall. Again, I know this is liable to change, and they probably will tighten it up and make sure that it is a lot better than what it is now. But for me, it just feels slightly clunky and slightly awkward, especially when you're running towards objects and obstacles. You don't auto jump over things. Jumping over things can be quite difficult. Grabbing onto ledges and stuff doesn't seem very intuitive. It's kind of hit and miss a little bit. Jumping into windows and things like that as well is a bit awkward for me, I've found. So hopefully they will look into that and fix it up for when the game does come out. The other thing that I have liked and do enjoy though is the grappling hook. I think that's a great addition to the game. It's interesting, it gives a good dynamic to the game, especially when you can use it to, say, swing into a window or, propel yourself up, swing yourself up on top of a building. So it's an interesting feature to have in the game and adds more dynamic to the game. The only issue that I have with it is that when you actually use the grappling hook, you can't shoot. So say if you're trying to grappling hook over an enemy to give yourself more of an advantage, you actually have to wait until you're finished grappling to actually be able to shoot, which is something I do have an issue with. You should be able to use the grapple hook and shoot at the same time. Other people might think differently, just my opinion. I think you should be able to use a grappling hook and shoot as well, but even hip fire, so at least you can't ADS. But even if you could hip fire, it would add a little bit more of a strategic element to using the grappling hook, I suppose. But it's no big issue. Maybe it's something they might implement, they may not. Who knows, but hopefully they do, because I would like to see that. With regards to the Titans, the whole point of Titanfall, which separates it from every other shooter, Titans are fun to use. They feel great, and again, for me, they are fun to use. They have been changed, so with regards to how you earn your Titan, it's no longer based on time, so length of time played in the game, as was with Titanfall the original. Your Titan came in after a certain period of time. With Titanfall 2, it's more of a merit based system, so the better you do, the more points you get, the faster you are able to get into your Titan, which I think is a much better system, because fair enough, the playing field isn't level, but that's how it should be. I don't think you should be giving everyone a level playing field. If you're better at the game, you should be able to get access to the better things quicker, and you shouldn't be punished for being better at the game. So I actually do like the fact that they have implemented that into the game. Pretty cool. The other thing as well is I love the fact that you can take the batteries out of enemy Titans. So when you actually mount a Titan in rodeo, as they call it, you pull out a battery out of I think it's a battery anyway, but you pull that out of the enemy Titan, and what you can do then is, if you see a friendly Titan, you can actually mount that Titan or rodeo that Titan, and you can put a better battery into your friendly Titan, and that adds a good element of teamwork for me. It's pretty cool. You can also call out to close friendly Titans that you have this battery, and you can give it to them and they can look for you or whatever, find you on the map, or you can just hop on and put it in. So it means that the friendly Titan will last longer in battle, which is always a good thing, especially if you don't have a Titan. With regards to the game modes, I haven't actually played the other two game modes yet. I've only played Bounty Hunter. I will be playing some pilot versus pilot, team deathmatch basically, and I will be playing some basically domination as well. I just haven't had a chance to play it just yet. I did want to focus on Bounty Hunter because it is a new mode and it's quite interesting. Basically what the point of Bounty Hunter is you collect points or money for killing enemies, and the AI as well, and then after every wave, so it goes in waves, after every wave you have a chance then to go and deposit that money into a bank basically, and the first team to 5,000 wins. The caveat is, if you're killed, you lose half the amount of money you have. So no matter what, even if you have say 100 and you get killed, you end up with 50, or if you have 500 you get killed, you end up with 250. So it does add a good bit of strategy. Some people are annoyed by the fact that the AI are still in the game and you have to kill the AI in order to gain points. I really don't mind that much because they're not that hard to kill. Really, they're not hard whatsoever. So there's no point in being annoyed about it. You just point your gun and put a couple of bullets on them and they're gone, and you get some points. So that's absolutely fine for me. But Bounty Hunter is fantastic. I really like the dynamic of the game mode. The gameplay itself is quite hectic, especially when it comes to the end of the wave and everyone's scrambling to get to the nearest bank and make sure they get their points deposited safely. It's quite funny to try and run in and wait for someone who's going to deposit the points and kill them, steal some of their points and then throw it into your bank. That's pretty much a fun thing to do. The other thing I like as well is that they do have specific bounties. So say they'll have at the start of a new wave, they'll have maybe one or two AI titans spawn in who will actually have a bounty. If you kill them, you'll actually get a good reward in regards to money for killing them. So it gives more of an objective towards the game as well. One thing I forgot to mention as well is regards to the design of the game. Sound design is excellent, I have to say. The gunshots sound very good, explosions sound really, really good, nice and boomy, and even hearing enemy footsteps and teammates' footsteps as well. It's clear you can hear them, especially if they're sprinting, but it's not overpowered. It's not something where you can sit in a corner and just wait for someone to come and always know where they are based on their footsteps. You are aware, is what I'd like to say. You're aware of the general direction of where they are, but it's not like a third sense, I suppose, with regards to you're able to figure out where they are exactly by their footsteps. So I do like that. So then gunplay as well. I mean, when you're actually facing off against enemies, real life enemies, pilot versus pilot combat, I suppose, or Titan versus Titan as well, or Titan versus pilot, or pilot versus Titan. In general, the gunplay so far feels balanced. There are a few weapons in the game. I haven't had a chance to use them all, but I have used the first two, so the submachine gun and the assault rifle, and the sniper rifle for a little bit as well. But the guns handle pretty well. And as I said, the weapons do seem quite balanced, the ones that are in the game. So that's fun. Time to kill is low, but that's okay. I don't mind that whatsoever. Can kill an enemy in just a few bullets and that's perfectly fine. By me, I have no issue with that. The one thing I have liked is that there's no one weapon that dominates at all ranges. I mean, especially with the assault rifle, you do notice that once you're firing at enemies over a longer distance, it does take quite a bit longer to drop them, which is absolutely fine by me. Same with SMGs as well. The sniper rifle, the first one you get, I'm not overly fond of, but I know there is another one in the game, so I'll try and unlock that and use that and see how I get on. But I am enjoying the gunplay. I feel it's pretty rewarding and it's a good experience, surprisingly as well. I keep coming back to that point that I wasn't really entirely sure whether I was going to enjoy this or not, but that leads me into my final point as well, is that I actually have, surprisingly, I know I've said this quite a few times now, but honestly, surprisingly, I have enjoyed playing this tech test. And again, I have to stress, I do understand that it is a pre-alpha and the game is not out for a while yet, but even at this very early stage, I have enjoyed the game. So as long as they don't really change it too much, or as long as the changes that they do make are positive, I feel that it is a game that I might be able to invest some time in. It does depend. I mean, Titanfall, the original one, that died pretty quickly. People really stopped playing that after like a few months, which is a shame. But I really hope that this doesn't happen to Titanfall 2. I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm going to buy it again, because of the fact that, as I said, I'm not sure how it's going to go with its lifespan. Will it be worth actually investing in a full AAA priced, will it be worth investing that price, that money into the game? It remains to be seen. It is something that's interesting though. It's something that is different. that will be coming out soon. It is another option for me to be able to play, and many other people as well. I feel it'll be a different option for them, so it might be something that I pick up and play casually here and there, maybe do a few videos on here and there. That remains to be seen, but so far so good from the impression side of things anyway. It does seem to have hit quite a good chord with me, which I have no arguments with whatsoever. But that's it for me, guys. This has been BucklingOne, and I've been playing Titanfall 2, and these were my first impressions. If you agree with anything I said or disagree with anything I said, let me know in the comment section below. And thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video.